Hi there, my name is April Sawtelle and welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is just showing you a really easy way, if you're having a problem making straight lines when you're cutting, this tool works really good for that. So I'm going to show you two different tools. One's a large one and one's a small one. And all I'm going to be using is my rotary cutter. I'm going to have a mat that's smaller than my big mat here so I can spin it around. So I've got the shape cut ruler. This is a 12-inch one. This is by June Tailor, and it's her June Tailor shape cut. She also has a June Tailor shape cut pro. This is a larger one. I have one that's a 12-inch that has half-inch increments, and this one is a 20-inch and it has 2.5-inch increments. So let's start with the one that has 12-inch increments. It's got slices down it so you can put your rotary cutter right through it. It's pretty easy to use. I've got the rotating mat, which it's just a regular mat that I can turn, okay? There's nothing underneath it that makes it rotate. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ruler, I'm going to line up the 0 here, and I'm going to bring this to the furthest most edge of my fabric so I can just get a nice clean start. I'll cut there and get a nice clean cut. All right, you're gonna slice up it. I've cut the 0, so now I know I am nice and straight. There's that piece that I've just cut off. I want to do this in 2-inch increments. This ruler does half-inch increments, so you can go right up to 12 in half by the half-inch. I'm just going to do it in 2s. Right now, I'm just going to get in there. I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'll stop right there at the 10. I'm going to pull that off. Now you can see I've got 5 2-inch strips that fast. They're perfectly straight. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin my mat and I'm going to just subcut. And I'll subcut from this angle here. So I'm going to line that back up where I moved it to show you. I'm going to put this back on my fabric. I'm going to line up that 0. And I'm going to cut all these salvages off. So I'm going to start right there. I'm going to line this line onto my 0 right here, and I'm going to go and put one slice there. I'm going to hold this firmly, and then I'm going to do 2-inch increments. So there was 2, 4, 6, 8, and that's all I'm going to get out of there because oh, nope, I will get the 10. Excuse me, 10. Now, you can see, there's my waist, and there's my squares. Now, this is 4 squares per, because I had 2 layers of fabric there. So, I just took my yardage and I just folded it over. So, that gave me all of these nice little squares. 4 in each little pile. That was quick. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to, we'll set those over here. We're going to take this and we're going to make just some 2-inch strips so I can show you how to make some diagonal. Now I've got 3 pieces, 3 2-inch strips, and here's what they are when I open them up. They're perfectly straight. That's going to be very helpful to some people that have a hard time using making the line straight. People are really good at keeping really straight with their cutting, and some people aren't. I'm just a person that does have a hard time keeping perfectly straight. Even though I push down and I put my strength there to do it, I just don't always come out perfectly straight. So this is just another option, and this is good if you have a lot of pieces you've got to do. You can go very quickly. So let me just show you how to make some diamonds here. All I'm doing is I'm lining my fabric up on my 60-degree angle here. I'm going to take my shape cut ruler and I'm just going to line this up with my 0 down here And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start cutting into it every 2 inches. This should give me, I'm going to start at the 0. And then I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Also with this small little shape cut ruler, I'm just going to cut these diamonds into some hexagons. You're just going to set them on your mat, and you're just going to line up your 6, the number 6 that's right in the center of your mat, with the center of the diamond here. Okay, so you're following that 6 up. All you're going to do is cut off the edges. So you're going to just cut these diamond points off, and you're going to have a hexagon. So right here, get rid of those. Get rid of those. Now we've got perfect hexagons. So you can make these any size you want to. I mean, I'm only doing them at the 2 inches. I'm just doing this to show you. Now I want to just show you, I'm going to go with the big ruler for a minute. So I'm going to take this one that has the 2.5 inches, and just to keep it simple, I'm going to do it at the 2.5 inches, just so you can see. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my 0. This is the Large Shape Cut Pro, and I'm going to line up my 0 here on my fold, and I'm going to get rid of my, here all I'm doing is getting rid of the raw edges here. Okay, and now I'm just going to cut it 2.5 inch increments because I want my binding. I'm going to pretend I'm doing this for binding. But again, you can do this at any size because you can just drag it over your ruler a little bit. So I'll do 2.5, 5, 7.5. And when I'm done, here's my waist and here's my strips. Easy as can be. So all I'm going to do is, now I've got these strips of my 2.5 inches of fabric. I can make binding, I can make jelly rolls, I can make any sorts of squares, anything. I can make big squares, little squares. Just for fun, let's make a couple of 10-inch squares. I'm going to go ahead and keep it right on this big, the big ruler. And I'm going to line this up with my 0. I'm going to line up my edges. I just did cut that, so I'm good there. And I'm going to put this at 10. I'm going to line my 0 right up to the edge. And I'm going to keep this at my 10, number 10. Line my 0 down. I'm going to cut that way. Pull the excess off. And I'm going to spin this mat. And now I'm just going to come in and line up my 0. And I'm just going to cut off the edges here. So I'm going to line the 0 up at the bottom as my guide. I'm going to cut right here, get rid of that, and I'm going to cut to my 10-inch mark. We'll get rid of the excess. Now I've got a bunch of 10-inch squares, perfectly cut. So this little tool is really helpful. I mean, you can see how fast it was. We've got strips of fabric here. We've got binding. You can do the binding also on the bias. I didn't show you that way, but you can do that. You can do hexagons, diamonds. One more thing I can show you, you could do a half square triangle. So you just take your triangle. So you just, if you want to make a half square triangle or just triangles, so the large one doesn't have that grid, but the small one does. You could just line this up. You just line it up on, where the 45 intersects here, where it comes with this X. You just line that up at the bottom, at the top of your triangle, right in the center. And actually, you're just back at the number 6 again. So then you're just going to line that up, and then you're just going to give a slice right straight through it. and that's going to give you triangles. So you could make large triangles, small triangles. Possibilities are endless. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time, and remember to keep it simple. Have a good day. Bye.